Bonjour classe, c'est la classe de français 1. Welcome to our first actual lesson from the textbook. Let's get started. Bonjour. Today we're going to talk about some basic things that we've already learned the first couple of weeks of school and add to that. So if you have your textbook, you can use that as a reference. We are in the very first chapter, Leçon 1A, Lesson 1A, and you can follow along there or just follow along on the screen. I will also be posting some of these notes in Google Classroom so that you can have those at your disposal as well. So let's talk about some things that you can already say in French. For example, bonjour. Bonjour, classe. You also are able to say salut. Salut is another way to say hello or hi. So when you greet someone in France in French, you would say bonjour, they would say bonjour. And if you're meeting them for the first time, you want to know what their name is. Here's how to ask, what's your name? Comment t'appelles-tu? Comment t'appelles-tu? Couple things I want to point out to you. First of all, did you notice that this word tu has that nice little U sound that we worked on last week? It's that kind of nasally, back in the mouth U sound. Doesn't really exist in English, and so we practiced that last week when we learned our vowel sounds. Now you can practice it some more. Comment t'appelles-tu is basically asking, what's your name? However, it doesn't translate word for word as what's your name because it literally means how do you call yourself? Or what do you call yourself? Comment t'appelles-tu? When you answer, you start with this word je. Je means I, myself. Je m'appelle Céline. Je m'appelle Céline. I call myself Céline. Et toi? Of course, if you're meeting someone, they're going to want to know your name too. So this little dialogue, Céline asks, et toi? And you? Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Céline. Et toi? Moi, me. Je m'appelle Marc. My name is Mark, or I call myself Mark. Okay, super. Let's do a little practice with that. Follow along with me and say the words as I say the words. Oh, I'm going to have to move myself here to the middle. Whoa! There we go. You should be able to see everything now on the screen. Okay, so a few dialogues. Let's meet some of our French friends. We have Maurice, Jean-Claude, Sébastien, and Alain. And over here we have Louisa, Annalise, Marie-France, and Sophie. Let's have them talk to each other. Écoutez et répétez. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Maurice. Et toi? Je m'appelle Louisa. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Annalise. Et toi? There it is again. Et toi? Oops, toi. Je m'appelle Jean-Claude. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Sébastien. Et toi? Je m'appelle Marie-France. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Sophie. Et toi? Je m'appelle Alain. We're going to be doing that at our next Zoom meeting in class. So listen again if you need to. Practice saying those words and pronouncing those words. But that's how you greet someone, introduce yourself, and find out their name as well. All right, the other thing for our lesson this week is counting, numbers. I got to move myself out of the way. Whoa, there we go. I'm moving myself down here because this week we are only focused on the numbers 0 through 10. So they're drawing a line. That's as far as we're going to go. We'll work on this other stuff next time. You can work ahead if you want, if you're feeling super motivated. But for now, let's just take a look at the numbers we have here. Écoutez et répétez après moi. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, six, sept, huit, neuf, dix. Couple things to help you remember. First of all, zéro is the same as in English, except with a French accent. Notice the accent aigu, zéro. The number 1, it looks like you would say un, but what we're going to start to learn about the French language is sometimes they have these nasal sounds, and sometimes they don't pronounce the ending consonants. In fact, a lot of times they don't pronounce the ending consonants. So this number is just kind of like you're getting punched in the gut. Le numéro 2. Yes, there's an X at the end, but we don't say it. We just say de. It's kind of like, duh, I know the number 2. De. Le numéro 3. Last week we talked about this vowel combination, O-I, which does not make an oi sound like it would in English, but rather wa. Combine that with this French R, and you get kind of a tricky word to pronounce. Listen carefully. Trois. Trois. I say the R in my throat and then the wa, and notice I don't pronounce the S. So, one more time. Trois. Super bien. This word has a lot of letters in it, but it really ends up sounding like the word cat. Quatre. Quatre. There's a little bit of a French R at the end. So there, I'm changing it into a cat. Do you see it now? Cat. That's the number 4. Cinq. This is interesting because normally the letter I makes an E sound in French. However, when it's next to the letter N, it becomes a nasal. Did you notice that nasal over here with right? And now over here with cinq. It's up in your nose. That's why it's a nasal sound. So when you say this number, you say cinq. Zéro, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. Six. Oh, that one's so easy to remember because it looks just like the English number, except it's not quite pronounced the same. Notice that X is not truly pronounced six. There's a little S sound, and that's all you do with that. Sept. The P is kind of silent. Sept. Huit. Ooh, this has a U sound. We practiced that good French U, just like we did on the previous page with Comment t'appelles-tu? Comment t'appelles-tu? Here it is again. Huit. Huit. The number 9 is neuf. And finally, the number 10, just like the number 6, except dix. Dix. Count with me this time. Follow along and we'll say the numbers together. Zéro, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept, huit, neuf, dix. One more time, just for good measure. Zéro, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept, huit, neuf, dix. Et bravo, class. Now I have a quick story to tell you. There were 2 cats. There was an American cat, and then there was a French cat, and the French cat's name was Un, deux, trois cat. Yeah, it was Un, deux, trois cat, and the American cat's name was 1, 2, 3 cat, right? That makes total sense. They were going to have a race across the river. Which cat won? The American cat, 1, 2, 3 cat. Do you know why? Because Un, deux, trois cat sank. Go back and review your numbers if you didn't get that joke. That's all I have for you today, class. Thank you for being here with me, and I will see you in our next meeting. Au revoir. À bientôt.